Okay, let's do part 2 of the introduction. And last time in part 1, I showed you how to create a HTML document using Notepad. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and do view part 1. So I also told you keep what we had last time because we're just going to add to it. And last time I asked you to create 3 different text documents. Once again, go back to the last video if you don't know how we created this. And we did a little styling, and there wasn't much to it, so this is what it looked like last time, and that's where we left off. So let's go ahead and add to that. So going back to our files here, go ahead, right click. Let's see, let's make this a little bigger. And we'll do a little scripting today. So right click, edit with Notepad++. And this is what we have from last time. Okay, so I didn't change anything from the previous video. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. This is my first div, and let's take a look at a couple of inputs, and let's do a little JavaScripting today. So our first input is going to be a text box. So input type equals text, and give it an ID. Once again, the ID is up to you. I'll call it txt name. Name it whatever you want. And inputs are self-terminating. So we'll go ahead and terminate it that way. You could go ahead, and I mentioned this last time, you could do that, but nothing goes in between here. There's no what's called inner HTML. So let's self-terminate that. And let's do another input. Type equals button. ID equals button name. Once again, that's up to you. Name it whatever you want. Give it whatever ID you want, excuse me. Value equals click. And that's also self-terminating. Okay. So save that. Go back to your browser and refresh it. And you've got a text box. And there's your button right there. Let's make this div a little bigger. So go to your CSS. Once again, this is all from last time. I didn't change anything. And right click on your style.css, edit with Notepad. And let's change some of the styling of the div. Let's make it a width of 400. Let's make it 500. Whatever, that's completely up to you. And let's make it a height of 200. And that's fine the way it is. And once again, just a reminder, if this is red up here, you haven't saved it. So Control S, Control S, and you saved it. So if we go back to our browser and refresh our screen, so there we go. So now, I don't want this button to be next to the text box, and I want, obviously, nobody knows what to put into the text box. So let's go back to the HTML, and right in front of here, enter your name. Save that, refresh your browser, so enter your name, okay? And like I said, I want this button to drop down. So what we'll do is right after this input here, let's put a break line. So BR. Okay, and that's just a break line. Some people don't put the /. You could just do that. I like to do it. It works either way. So a break line, well, you'll see what happens. So save that and refresh, and it drops it down there. Okay, so that's what a break line does. So if you put 2 break lines, save that, refresh, it drops it down another line. Okay. I also want to center all of this in the div. So right here in my div, type align equals center. Save that. Refresh your browser, and it centers everything. Okay. So now let's do a little scripting, because this button does nothing. Okay. And in your folder you should have this script.js right here. That's where we're going to put our JavaScript. So let's go ahead, right click that, edit with Notepad++, and we have nothing yet. So let's write our first function. Okay, so function, whatever you feel like naming it. I'll go ahead and name my function, I don't know, do something. And open and close your curly braces. Okay. And save that. It doesn't do anything yet, but there's two things that we need to do. Let's go ahead and type alert, which is just a message box, an alert. And let's type in hello world. Okay. So when I click the button, I should see an alert, a JavaScript alert box that says hello world. So now, if I refresh my browser, click the button, it does nothing yet. And the reason it does nothing is because I haven't told, there's a couple things missing. One, this HTML document doesn't know how to talk to the JavaScript file yet, my script.js. Just like we had to do this right here to get my style sheet to talk to the HTML, I need to do something similar. So we'll open the script tag, type equals text /JavaScript source src equals, and it's important, come on, script. Okay, so I'll get back to the important in a second. So I opened a script tag and I closed a script tag. Script tags are not self-terminating. Okay, link tags are self-terminating, but script tags are not self-terminating. Now inside the source, you have to type exactly what you have right here. So I don't know what you have right here in this file, what you called it, but whatever you called it here has to go right here. And I called mine script.js. So if you called it something else, it has to be something else. Okay? So now we need to call that function. So now this line right here gets, don't forget to save it, Control S. This line right here gets our HTML document to talk to my JavaScript document. But I still haven't called this function. So what we're going to do is go back to your button and inside add on click equals, okay, and inside the parentheses you have to put whatever you called this function right here. In this case I called it do something, so I'm just going to copy this, Control C, I'm going to go back here and inside the quotes, Control V, I've got my function do something. Okay, so save that, Control S, and now what should happen when I hit the button, when I hit this button, it's going to call my script.js, okay, because now they're linked, and then that's going to link me to do something, which is the name of my function. So if you had a different function, you have to make sure you name it accordingly. And it's going to call this function, and then I'm going to get the alert, hello world. So let's go back, refresh my browser, Control F5, or just refresh, it's up to you. So if I click, I get my alert box. Okay, so you should get that alert box when you click the button. So go ahead and, it doesn't have to be hello world, just type in anything you want as long as it's in between the quotes. And just like the in the style, don't forget that semicolon, okay? Because if you forget that semicolon, in JavaScript it's a little more forgiving. It'll probably run if I delete it, but you definitely want to put your semicolons in. So type in whatever you want. You know, this is my first alert. Save it, refresh your browser, and then click me, and this is my first alert. So there's your first alert box. So now what I want to do is I want to alert the person's name. So someone's going to type in a name, whatever, Fitchy. And when I click the button, I want it to say something like, hello Fitchy, or hello whatever name you type into the box. So what we have to do is we have to reference that box. Okay? And the way we reference that is the first thing we'll do is we need to set up a variable. So we'll say var, and var first name. And this could be whatever you want to call it. It could be X. Okay, but I wouldn't go using X and Y because you might have, 50 variables, so you might want to come up with a way to name things. So first name equals, and here's a line you're going to be typing quite a bit. Okay, document dot get element by ID. Okay, and JavaScript is case sensitive, so you have to have this camel casing. So that has to be a capital E, this has to be a capital B, and this has to be a capital I. Okay, and what goes in here is whatever ID you gave the text box. So in the case of my text box, I called it text name, txt name. So whatever you called this right here has to go in to the parentheses right here. Okay, so now every time you click the button, it's going to get whatever is create a reference to the text box with, in my case, txt name. So now let's change our alert to first name dot value. Dot value, so this is the reference to it. Dot value is whatever's inside. Okay, so let's control save that, go back, refresh my screen. So control F5, click me. Oops, wait. And we go to our box here, and it's Fitchy. Okay, so click OK, go back, type in any other name, type in your name, literally your name, click me, and you get your name. Okay, but let's add to it. Let's not just put the name, let's say hello and plus. Okay, in JavaScript, plus is concatenation. Okay, in other words, it puts two strings together. Okay, so now the alert will be hello plus whatever name is in there. So if we go back and refresh my screen, and let's type in Alan. Damn it, refreshing is not working. And I get hello Alan. Okay, and you can literally do, once again, your name, hello your name. And you can add to the message. It doesn't have to just be that. You could go ahead and add more to the message. So plus and welcome to my website. Okay. Oh, it doesn't like me doing that. Okay, so you can add more or whatever you feel like typing. Save that. Refresh. And let's type in TC. And for some reason it wants me to refresh twice every time. Doesn't like that at all. I'm just getting hello TC. Alert, hello TC, and welcome to the website. Oh, I never saved it. Yep, right there. Once again, if it's red, you didn't save it. So go back and save it. Refresh. Hello TC and welcome to my website. Now notice how the TC and the and are right next to each other. That's because I didn't put a space right here. So I should put a space here, and that'll take care of that. Some trial and error. Save it. Refresh your browser. And click me again. And notice hello TC and welcome to my website now works. Okay. Now you could right here, instead of first name dot value, you can do that up here, dot value here. The only reason I wouldn't do that though is because there's more than just dot value. Okay, you can change styling, you can change the color. There's all kinds of things you could do on a click. So if I put the dot value up here, first name will just be dot value, but I might want to do something else. I might want to change the color based on whatever. So I'm going to say dot value and leave it there. So that's up to you though. Those are little things you're going to learn throughout the year. One more thing I'm going to do is there are some built-in JavaScript functions, and one of the functions is to lowercase. So, and there's a lot of built-in ones, things that we don't need to write. So to lowercase will do exactly what you're probably thinking it'll do, is it'll take whatever value is and turn them all the letters into lowercase. So if I come in here and type in capital TC and I do the to lowercase and refresh my browser, and notice that TC is now in lowercase. Okay, and there's of course, if there's to lowercase, there's also to uppercase. So we could change this to uppercase. And once again, JavaScript is case sensitive, so if you put a lowercase u there, it's not going to work. Okay, you need that camel casing. Okay, just like you did here, document.getElement by ID. So if we save that, and I put Fitchy in lowercase, oh, I didn't refresh, let me refresh. Fitchy in lowercase, when I click me, hello Fitchy, and it's all in uppercase. Okay, so those are two JavaScript, built-in JavaScript functions. Once again, we're just going to be doing a little bit at a time. Okay, so go ahead, fiddle with this, maybe put in some more text boxes, try writing maybe a second function or something like that, or doing, counting how many characters, are in the name or something like that. Okay, check back in about a week and I'll have part 3 up. Once again, if you haven't seen part 1, just go ahead and go back and watch part 1 or click the link below.